Now this is scary. In 1992, a team of archaeologists claimed that they have discovered a new underground pyramid in Johannesburg, South Africa. Upon entering the pyramid, they faced a lot of traps and deadly insects, so they decided to come back the next day with the right equipment for this job. Overnight, one of the archaeologists went missing, and nobody knew where he is. They thought he wanted to steal the treasure, so they rushed right back to the pyramid. Upon arriving, they noticed the entrance was blocked again, as when they discovered it. They went straight back to digging, and this took them a very long time. They were not able to finish it in one day, so they went back home. When they wanted to come back the next day, another member went missing, and everything was sealed again. They started digging with an excavator, and suddenly they hit something. When they took a look, they fell unconscious and woke up in the hospital. All 5 of them were there again, and they all told the same story. But it could not be proven because they didn't even find an excavator or a dredged hole.
If you seek protection, surround yourself with a bubble of protective white light. This is an ancient thing that has been handed down from millennia ago. No religion will dispute that. For example, every time I get into my vehicle, I ask my car angel to get me safely to all my destinations and return me home safely, and don't let me get stopped by a cop, okay? I do that automatically. And I visualize a protective bubble around my vehicle 24/7. No matter, even if I forget to do that sometimes, and I do, I'm protected 24/7 by this protective bubble that's around me. And you wouldn't believe how many close shaves I've had.
Oh, that is very interesting, man. And a lot of videos have passed, which I'd like to hear your comments on all of them. But you see, the main goal here, as we say, is all about humanity, love, you see, mercy, and good vibes. Like that guy, the way he's saying a protective bubble over him that he wishes. You see, if we all humans unite and have love, all of us, you can imagine if we all connect with love out there and mercy, how we can have a protective bubble over the whole world. And these things that we don't know we are hearing or seeing UFOs, they cannot have a way to enter and come this side. Now we can be protected. Think about it in many ways. You see, love is the answer to everything. Watch till the end and much love.
I don't know what is this. I was already eating this egg before I saw the yolk like this, and you can see it's hard. I'm trying to break it. Let me break it. What the wait, I don't understand. This is another egg inside. No, I've never seen this in my life before. Wait, guys, is this normal? Like, is this stuff normal? Just let me. What's this? I'm trying to open it. It's not even opening. Guys, see. What is this?
There was a video of such egg uncooked one in our previous episodes, the one we did. You can check what's happening here. This house is very beautiful. Oh, what's going on? There is fire. Oh, not just fire. Looks like, look at this lava or what, that thing from a volcano. What do you call it? What is this? Oh my god. This is very scary. This is now like molten fire. Oh. God, this can cause so much destruction. I cannot imagine. Oh my god, what is happening, my people? Oh, the world is going crazy, or what's happening? Oh my, I'm very sad to see this. This is very sad. Oh, it's like a lake of fire. This is very crazy, man. These are like the things written in Revelation that shall happen. It is real. Oh, if there's someone from this area or someone that has seen this thing, please tell us in the comment section. Oh, I feel very sorry for people around this place. Oh my god. What could have caused this, man? Oh, it's like this earth have started now to destroy itself. What do you think? Guys, this is why I'm saying we should love each other very much and care for one another. Because if the world has already started doing this to us, oh, it's high time we unite people. Despite looking at the colors and all those things, I don't know what people, if you identify as a tree or anything, let's just love people, man. Oh, maybe it can change all this disaster and chaos.
After all this time, I found one. Ladies and gentlemen, a sulfur ball in the ruins of the city. This has been tested before, and these are almost, very highly pure sulfur. Look at that, look at that. A perfect sulfur ball, just like the Bible says that fire and sulfur destroyed this place. Wow. I'm so glad I found one. Okay, with this piece of sulfur that I managed to find, I'm now going to burn it and see what happens. Here we go. The whole thing is like sponge. That is not a normal shape. That doesn't look natural at all. That is definitely seems to be a man-made shape. And is this not enough evidence for people to find all of these man-made looking structures, ashen remains, crumble in your hands, in the location where we're told in the Bible as evidence of God's judgment, as described by Josephus, historian, but then also finding circular, almost pure sulfur balls in the middle of the ash, in the middle of the walls and the shapes of the buildings. Is this not enough evidence for us to see that A, the Bible is true, and B, God is a just God, and we need a saviour.
American aircraft, this is the PLA Air Force. You are approaching Chinese airspace. Keep a safe distance or you'll be intercepted.
PLA fighter aircraft, this is U.S. Navy P-8 on VHF 121.5. I hold you off my left wing and I intend to continue to proceed to the west.
U.S. aircraft, this is Chinese Navy warship. You are approaching me. Keep safe distance away from me. Over.
I'm a United States military aircraft and I will remain a safe distance from your unit.
I'm warning you again. Leave immediately, or you will bear forward responsibility for all the consequences.
Oh my god. Oh, that is very scary, man. Why would someone threaten another person like that because of coming to their home? What if they mean good intentions and they're just coming to explore, greet you, and see how people from another place look like? Oh, you see why is there so much chaos? People should just be operating with love, and the people should not be looking at each other as a threat. At first, when you see a person, you look at them first with love until proven otherwise, and people cannot do that. You see, if you embrace people with love, love will always win. Just keep watching. This is very
Did
surprising.
you know that gifted people have unique psychological problems? I'm a clinical psychologist and I work with many gifted people, many of whom don't believe they're gifted, but they still have the psychological issues that are common in this population. Now, I didn't learn anything about the psychological problems that gifted people are more likely to have. So I think it's really important to do education around this topic if you yourself may be gifted or you know somebody who's gifted who is struggling with these problems. So people have actually looked into gifted individuals, gifted adults, gifted children, and identified the issues that they have that are related to the personality structures that gifted people tend to have that are not necessarily to do with IQ. So I'm going to be referring to a PDF that was written by Frances Hyland that is entitled Gifted People and Their Problems. So gifted people often have the tendency to question authority. They ask embarrassing questions because they want to know details that they shouldn't ask about, and they are non-conforming. This can lead to a sense of alienation, feeling out of step with others. This, coupled with the tendency to having unusual ideas and thinking about things from multiple different angles that people don't typically go into, can lead to social isolation. But gifted people also tend to be highly sensitive, highly empathic, and highly compassionate. They can also have really strong moral convictions and be a seeker of an ultimate truth. Now imagine having that set of characteristics, but not actually realizing that not everyone has those characteristics. What I see a lot clinically is gifted people who have all these ways of being, don't actually realize or believe that they are gifted, and they're expecting everybody else to be able to process things just like they are. This is known as binocular thinking. What I find is that gifted individuals come up with these really complex, detailed theories as to why other people do and think and feel the way that they do. Whereas actually the answer is often other people don't think about these things in the way that they do. Most people don't think about things so deeply and create complex matrices of reasoning around them. Gifted people can read too much into other people's behaviors because they're assuming that they operate on the same level as them. But here comes the next problem. If you try to point out, well, you think differently, you think in a more complex way, you think of more things, then the gifted person who doesn't want to put themselves above someone else because they're morally inclined struggles to kind of make sense of how they are seeing things in a more complex manner. They basically don't want to be arrogant. So in order to accept oneself, they have to come to terms with the fact that they are actually different and they are actually seeing things on a deeper level. And that might make them feel like that's not fair, because usually gifted people have a complex relationship with authority. They don't want the authority of mind over somebody else. I think the trick here is accepting one's unique neurotype that comes with challenges and benefits, and recognizing that in a lot of cases, gifted people experience it more as a disability than an ability. And starting to accept oneself and one's own unique way of processing things. And that maybe trying to conform around other people is never ultimately going to lead to happiness. But all of this is really difficult in a social context where we're living in a situation of tall poppy syndrome. I remember fellow clinicians laughing at the idea that a parent would even want a gifted assessment for their child. I think this form of erasure is only going to result in more mental health problems for gifted people. But I think a focus on the psychological needs of gifted people is imperative.
Today's concentration camps, promoted as smart cities, are equipped with sophisticated non-stop surveillance technology, ensuring no escape. Who ignited toxic chemical fires within weeks in South Africa, Norway, Italy, Ohio, Texas, Louisiana, Florida, Hawaii, and Montreal? Food plants and farm animals are also under siege. A barn fire killed 10,000 pigs in Illinois. This is World War III. The objective is to establish the Fourth Reich. The Nazis were never vanquished. Our choice is clear. Either we assert our freedom and our rights as free human beings, or we will succumb to a global catastrophe far exceeding the magnitude of the Holocaust. Please consider viewing my documentary series, Never Again Is Now. This 5-part episode features Holocaust survivors, second and third generation relatives, Dr. Zelenko, Dr. Eden, Rabbi Green, as well as German and Israeli freedom fighters. Their insight will...
Yo, man. Oh, what do you think?
Yeah, but
Do it. You bet you can. Go.
you just...
Cross, grab,
Yeah.
flip.
Wait.
You're stuck.
How did you do that?
I'm magic.
I can't.
Oh, I didn't know.
First Holy
How did they do that?
2024.
What?
Yeah,
Next year?
Next year. It's real-life Jurassic Park with purpose, starting with, I think, 100 mammoths and putting them in this park in Siberia as to what happens when you add megafauna back into the Arctic tundra to offset carbon emissions.
They're using what DNA? They're using elephant DNA?
Indian elephant is the closest living relative to the woolly mammoth. They're using CRISPR technology, and they're using existing mammoth DNA, and they're making an embryo, and then they're implanting it into the Indian elephant, and 22 months later, an Indian elephant's gestation period, she will give birth to a mammoth.
A real mammoth?
A real mammoth.
So it's not like a hybrid?
If you imagine the DNA of an animal, and then you imagine the fragments that are broken out of it, what they're doing is they're taking that DNA, and all those pieces that are missing from the mammoth, they're putting in Indian elephant pieces.
I'm gonna punch your fucking head in. Look at my dog.
Yo, that is very scary.
I can't believe how these guys are stealing brand new vehicles. What you're looking at right now on the screen are two thieves who are about to go ahead and drive off in some poor guy's first-gen BMW M2. The guy carrying around the antenna that looks like it was sort of like Mickey Mouse or MacGyver together in his basement is performing what's called a relay attack. If you didn't know, your vehicle's key fob is constantly emitting a signal, looking for the car that it belongs to. Likewise, the car is also constantly looking for that key fob. So what the guy with the antenna is doing is trying to amplify the signal from the key fob that's in the house in order to trick the car into thinking that that key fob is much closer to the vehicle than it really is. You know how you can just keep your key fob in your pocket, you can just walk up to your car or your truck and just open the door. Right. Well, that's exactly how this works. Which means once they get in, no alarm's going to go off. And the thieves can just start up the car and drive it away, probably to some chop shop somewhere, or ship it overseas, whatever they feel like doing. Now, most people leave their keys by their front door, making the entire process even easier to hijack the signal. Now, something you can do to protect yourself is you can actually put your key fob in like a little metal tin or something when you get home, or you can use what's called a Faraday bag or a pouch. Both of those will block the signal coming from the key fob so that something like this won't ever happen to you.
Oh, that is very scary. Thieves are that dedicated these days. Oh my god. Is that a seabird or what's that? Oh my god.